do you think? Do you think that we are genuinely softer as a society now that we're a part of a new generation, or do you feel like we're just different, like we were raised different than the previous generation of people? Because, you know, a lot of people will say, especially our parents, they're Gen X, I think. They'll be like, oh, y'all new generation, soft, y'all this, y'all that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they were just mentally different, like things weren't socially acceptable then, and they are now, and it's more correct now? Or do you feel like we genuinely are softer?
I definitely think it's it's more, so it's like what you said. It's like, because we are all people. It's more of a rewiring of society. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the time you was alive, because we all know that there was black people who had slaves back in the day, and it don't make you no type of way. It's just if you was living in that time and it was acceptable, this is what it was. And if 50 years later, it's not gonna be acceptable. I was reading this book.
That's a good analogy, by the way.
I was reading this fucking book, but it's about the fucking guards of like the concentration camps during the Holocaust and shit. Yeah. And this one guard who was fucking like, he was forced to be a guard. It's like, I don't want to be here, but I was born German. I'm blue eyes, blonde hair. I don't want to die. I don't want the government to kill my mom or my girlfriend. So they, like, of course I'll fucking have a camp, like be a fucking guard at the camp, and like, yeah, like I don't want to die. It's survival of the fittest. So yeah. And everybody today, you can't tell me, oh, I would never be a guard back then, because nigga, you probably ain't strong enough to say no. You know what I mean? Like, these people was like Anne Frank. We read that shit in like, everybody not that hard to like hide from no shit like that. Motherfucker would kill themselves if they knew like, oh, the government coming after me. Like,
they were in a way more primitive fight or flight response.
Fight or flight.
Like that was like majority of their life.
And it was kids.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, oh,
13 years old thinking, I gotta go find a way to survive off tuna fish in this attic for a year.
And I'm saying that because that's how it was for more people back then. Nowadays, I was about to say people don't have to deal like that. Nowadays, you can't tell me it ain't nobody who's still living like that. That's that age. You know what I'm saying? It's 13-year-olds who still have that. It's just it just look different.
Right.
They just in the hood or something like that.
They in
the
Congo and shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's just about the times you around and then the rewiring of like society. Like, yeah, it's really like that. It's really like that. People like nowadays, we more we got like the internet and shit, so we a little more connected. So we like smarter as a whole, but individually back then, we had to be smarter, like, cause you couldn't get online and talk about nothing. You couldn't call your people and be like warn them. Like you kind of heard an explosion happen and was like, fuck, like, you know, like shit was like that. So yeah, I think it's the times. I don't think people don't get weaker or stronger. It's just
the influence, the
the thoughts that you have control everything. Like society, it's like
society wired you to be that way.
Yep.
For sure.
If I can't live, then I can't die, so I'm gonna smoke so I get high like all the time. Yeah. If time don't exist, then why the fuck am I smoking spliffs and I'm hitting blunts and I'm hitting joints, like what's the move, yeah. And then my joints so fucking stiff, I can't even move, I can't even get up, nigga, I'm smoking all this shit, yeah. My teeth so high right now, I can't even die right now.
Look at them clothes, bro. Get that bitch in the shower first.
Ew!
Crazy, right?
That's hard.
Where your other phone at? Because I gotta play the song on here so I can be on thing. On beat. Oh yeah, it's gonna be it.
You hate on Whataburger. Who does that?
So beautiful. Lady. I think I'm like, all right.
The darkness, I'm gonna fix. The
All
dark.
right, man, I was just
That's the
gonna
one
say-
thing that I don't really. I don't think we should mess with that on the camera. I can fix the brightness and shit like that. I can do that. The contrast, all that is fine. But the in camera colors, I can't fake that.
Say less.
Can't fake that.
Nah, this is looking pretty nice.
Right? And then look at that one. Look at the side of our gang. Do you think, like in today's time, people are softer, or do you think back then we was just wired a different way? Like, as far as people in general, like.
Nah, I don't think that we're softer. I think how it kind of ended off on what you were saying, that we're influenced and programmed to be a certain way during a certain time.
Yeah.
I actually had an experience, or not an experience. I was told of an experience in my family, basically where, there was some weird type of molestation going on, and the right thing to do was to cover it up and pretend like it wasn't happening. That was being tough to them. And because of that, the person getting molested ended up coming forward, saying something. They got ostracized, had to live on their own at 15 years old, get kicked out the house, and then that led them on a path of more misery, getting raped. Subjecting themselves to prostitution in order to survive, and all type of shit. Now, just imagine in today's time, some shit like that go down. We're liable to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna hold our tongue with that shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
So I definitely think the word softer stems from them having this misconception of that
What
dysfunction
that
is supposed to be swept under the rug and left unaddressed in order to maintain the harmony in the family. Right. And I think that's a dysfunctional way of thinking. I think that now we're more so wired to actually stand up and say something, you know what I'm saying, and correct those generational flaws that we had. And I also think that, even with the term like Generation X, Generation Alpha, all of that shit is a stigma, or like a program, if you will.
Right.
I feel like the government, like if you think about it, that shit sounds like a fucking project. Like, your Generation X. Like, that shit sounds like a fucking potion. Like, what the fuck? I'm Generation Alpha. You're labeling me. You know what I'm saying?
Spice, everything nice.
You feel me? On some Powerpuff Girls shit. Yeah. So now I feel like, I really had this thought to myself. I feel like those are terminologies for certain errors that the government chose to influence a certain way of thinking on society during that time. I feel like during that time, this was the...
this is normal.
Yeah, this is the project that we're going to incorporate, mentally on our country. This is what's going to be socially acceptable during this time. This is how we're going to program our citizens type shit. And I feel like now, we're in this liberal fucking era to where, okay, there's a pro and a con. Now we're a lot more outspoken. Now we have a lot more information at our fingertips. Now we can correct a lot of fucking shit. But now I also feel like, obviously the cons with that is a lot of things are more... ironically enough, we can't speak on a lot of the things that we want to speak on, even though we also have that freedom of speech. It's a contradiction.
It's
like, I can't get on here and say I'm against this or I am pro this without, a certain community feeling a type of way, and now I can get demonetized. You feel me?
And that's what I was gonna say. Like socially, how it's all connect, like the internet, and then you got the times, right? But socially, times are already gonna change, right? You could take the internet out of it, and times are already gonna change. But however, with the internet coming into play, that's making us way more connected than we ever have been, ever thought we could be, right? So like with you you could say like having an opinion like that pre-internet, the people 9 times out of 10, the people in your area, like in your community, would probably agree with you.
But that's dangerous because I also feel like that's hive-minded mentality. Yeah. So people can easily become influenced by whatever propaganda is being shared.
Yeah, right.
So if a blog page says that so-and-so is a mentally deranged narcissist, everyone's gonna take that and run with it.
Yeah.
And now everybody's gonna make memes about it. Now everybody's gonna be programmed to think this way, this certain way, which is dangerous as fuck to me, because I feel like that eliminates a thought process. Now everybody is even more susceptible to programming. If you think about it, you put one thing on the internet, we're all gonna be marveled by it.
Bro, okay, so do you think religion is a meme?
I think religion was the OG meme, bro. It's the OG meme.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so insidious, bro, that some people are so subscribed to a certain faith that they will kill you over disagreeing with their standpoint.
Bro, yes. And without being so sure that they are in agreement. It's just they might be so subscribed to it in their own mind.
They can't even register it. That's how they are.
That's crazy.
You know what's even crazier than that? I was raised in a religion, bro, where I could not consume other information outside of what was provided in the religion. That was considered
That's not even
blasphemy. You know what I'm saying?
That's a contradiction, though, because you're not supposed to be open to.
Right. So it's like, just as much as you believe that your God or what your religious beliefs are true, this Muslim person also is a diehard. Yeah. So it's like, damn. So
honestly, it's the same shit. Because I mean, we talked about that before. But like a person of like Buddhism and like Christianity, the messages is pretty much the same.
They're guiding their life by damn near the same principles. Yeah. Don't fornicate. Don't have marriage out of wedlock or babies out of wedlock. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't lie. So you telling me
the representation of like Buddha and the like Jesus on the cross? It's the same. It's the same shit when you break it down too. Like you said, it's all like about belief systems and.
It's just a different mascot. It's a different mascot, my nigga.
A different picture for the same meme.
It's like some football team shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
damn.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Just because you from Baltimore and the bank or in the Ravens is popping, you gonna diss me because I'm a Steelers fan?
Wow. And we have the same.
But you're gonna kill me over that. You're really gonna view me differently than that.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's literally the same shit.
It's crazy.
It's all in the same league. It's the NFL. But since I'm a Steelers fan and you from Baltimore, you got beef with me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Instead of just.
But we both are diehard fans, and we both decorate our living rooms with our.
Both diehard fans decorate our room the same way. We go to events the same way, faithfully. Our families and shit like it's all the same. It's just for a different brand. That's fucking wild.
You see how dumb we are? But that's how easy it is to manipulate people. I read a book called Propaganda, and when you get people subscribed to that, when you create outsiders, the illusion of outsiders, that makes people's faith intensify more because. Primitively, we have a need for survival and acceptance, right? So we're going to associate ourselves and attach our identity to something to feel accepted.
Yeah.
And now this outsider is a threat. And now we can protect what we identify with. And that's how we get dragged into
feel like an outsider trying to stand on that because you know you've already felt accepted. Like it's like, oh, these people behind me because I'm
So crazy. Just imagine niggas like us, you know what I'm saying, who are agnostic or who are inquisitive enough to see multiple perspectives and don't subscribe to anything. We literally just watching motherfuckers like really just in a whole, like they can't even see that they're acting like an animal. Like they're acting like an animal. They're playing a role. And they love it. They die behind it. Like it's everything for them. That's their whole existence.
That shit sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. No fiction. No fix. Hey. You. No fix. Come on.
Yeah, that was hard. Swoop in